Hi, it's Don Thornton, and I want to continue on well, my journey. You can come along for the ride if you want, but I'm just talking about, my time during my LDS Mormon mission in Finland from 1985 to 1987. This is on my YouTube channel, obviously, Don the Short Sail Guy Reminisces, and in the last chapter in where I'm in Pori, I got the map of Finland up here, and you can see the Pori's over here in the lower left hand side. Um, and I just been diagnosed with cancer, Hodgkin's disease, and I had my first surgery on it. And I'd also baptized a woman in Pori into the church, and I also got to walk in a communist parade in on May Day. So it was pretty good. Anyway, as I said in my previous video, I had a lot of free time for almost 2 months. My gosh, I all I had to do was just basically be there in the morning at the hospital, and I just left after that and just whatever. And one time, one of the members, one of the teenage, I don't say teenage, I'd say he's probably like 19 or 20, whatever. He had a car, and he says, why don't we go to the Pori's famous beach, which is called Uttari. And that is, that's like I said, Pori is about maybe 30 miles inland from the beach, and so this is the view of Utah Beach. It's actually kind of a nice place, and we went out there in June, and of course you would think that June it would be hot, but this is Finland, of course, so it was still a little nippy. But we went anyway. I mean, the rules were that you could not swim. That was a big real. Mormon missionaries cannot swim. So we were able, because it's as you say here, the shore goes out a long ways before it gets deep. Yeah, so I mean we were able to wade into the pool, not the pool, the bay of Bothnia, and it was actually pretty cool. So, but what was funny about this was that we didn't know that we had stumbled into this nude beach. And there was we ran into this behind a sand dune. There was this really very nice looking girl, topless, and she had two guys with her, and they were having fun. And for us, it was like, oh my gosh, we can't see this stuff because we're missionaries, you can't do that stuff. So, whew, that was quite the sight. But that's one thing that stuck in my mind was about that time when it's actually the very first time I saw a bare female breast in life, not in real life. So that was a monumental time in my life. But anyway, but Pori was great. The summer was great. We have in June they had hold on here. I'm going to see this here. We had, well, I'll just do a quick thing here. Juhannus is a big deal in Finland, and Juhannus basically is the longest day of the year. So that's a holiday, of course. So we were able to go out and just have fun and and everybody. There's always a big bonfire. And Pori has this really huge celebration around Juhannus. It's called Pori Jazz, and so you had a lot of really good groups and so forth. And it was great to go out there and check everything out. I liked Pori. Pori was nice. The weather was great. So we enjoyed Juhannus, going out there and seeing all these Finns get drunk, and and we had some really good barbecue sausages and so forth. So I loved it. My cancer thing was continuing. Then we started this really weird situation where they said, well, it's not Hodgkin's, maybe it's something else. It's like they thought maybe it might be tuberculosis. So for about a week they thought I had TB, and then it came around and said, well, no, maybe it's some kind of unknown bacterial infection. And it's like, well, we're not sure what it is, and then finally, honestly, I mean, if you can see I don't know if you can see right here, I still have a scar right here, because what happened was they did the biopsy, and then they left it open. They didn't close it. and so it gradually just started, growing, healing itself. But it was weird there because when I was talking, you could see things moving. So I basically became a carnival show because all the missionaries and all the Finns would say, "Hey, can we see your throat?" And the funny thing was that in Finnish, the word for throat, kurku, is the same as cucumber. So of course, everybody wanted to see my cucumber. That was the big joke, and with the missionaries, like, "Hey, look at, let's see your cucumber." So I could always see my, my freakish cucumber, showing all my inner whatever ligaments or vocal cords, whatever, moving as I spoke. So that was a weird thing. But I always just laughed it off, and of course my mom was going crazy because every week there was something else going on about what the diagnosis is. Oh my gosh, my kid has cancer. Oh no. Well, Sister Thornton, the good news is your son doesn't have cancer. The bad news is he's got tuberculosis. And it's like, oh well, actually it's not tuberculosis. Maybe it's an unknown bacterial infection. We have no idea what it was. So my mom was going nuts. And of course you couldn't call. You weren't able to call because it was just against mission rules. Looking back on it right now, we just get on the phone on Skype, or if we would do WhatsApp or something. But back then, it was expensive to make a call. I didn't have money. I was getting like $200 a month to be a missionary. I mean, let me tell you, you watch your pennies if you're doing that. And my parents didn't have any money either, so it was tough. It was tough for everybody. But but I eventually got released from the hospital. They just basically said, well, let us know if it starts acting up again. But in the meantime, we're just going to let you go because we don't know what this is, but you seem to be okay. So I said, okay, great. I got out and I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And so I went back with the guys, and we had the summer was a great summer. We had so much fun. We were doing missionary work a lot, of course. We were doing greenie jokes too because we had this tradition in Finland. They banned it now, but back in the day, if a new missionary came in, then we would haze them a little bit, which was just stupid jokes. Like, well, I got a greenie once where we basically changed our identities, and so I was like somebody else, and then the new missionary was going to get this other guy, and we had a missionary called Elder Hadfield, and he was from California, and he came with a haircut which was interesting for a missionary. He had the Finns called him a hedgehog because he was like it was cut short but it was spiked, and so they used to call him Veli Hedgehog, Brother Hedgehog, and he had the California vibe going and everything. So we said, okay, how about you be me, and then you'll act like the worst missionary ever. Like you don't care. So he thinks his senior companion is going to be a real weirdo, semi-apostate, about ready to leave the church, and about ready to go home and all this stuff. So we had a big thing going on, and it was, I'm not going to go into great detail about it, but he was freaking out. And then we say, oh no, just a joke. Welcome to Finland. I'm your companion or whatever. And then we had one where another greenie came in to the other companionship, and he it was funny because we did kind of the same thing, but we changed a little bit. This time he actually, his quote unquote companion actually got on a bus to leave because we knew that bus just went around the corner and then stopped. So the poor missionary was going, I just get here to Finland, I'm jet lagged, and my companion's gonna go home. His girlfriend dumped him, and so he and then he just drove off and left. And of course we took him back to the apartment, and then there he was. It's like, hey, welcome to Finland or whatever. So we had fun doing the greenie jokes, and then we got in the way every like 2 months or so in Finland on a mission. They would have what they call a zone conference because there was 3 zones in Finland. They had the southern zone, and they had the west, and they had the north. And so you would all take the train to either Tampere or Helsinki or Oulu up in the north, and you would basically just take your sleeping bags and you'd sleep on the floor in the church, and then we would have meetings where they would teach different things and whatever, and it was just a way kind of like to get back in touch and get together, and the president would speak and all this kind of stuff. So we actually loved them because it was fun. Because every Mormon church has a gym, and not a weightlifting thing, but I mean like a basketball court and a stage and whatever. So we could play floor hockey and basketball and things like that. So that was always fun to be able to get out and just be American kids and teenagers. And well, we were 22, but almost teenagers, and it was fun. But we decided we decided that we were given the responsibility to do the refreshments, and which we didn't like because we had to pay for it. So we decided that we were going to get our revenge. So we went to the pharmacy, and we asked them to give us some methylene blue. And for those of you who don't know, methylene blue is a dye, and if you put it in a drink like a juice or whatever, when you drink it, when it goes through your system and you pee, the color of your pee is going to be blue. And so we decided that we were going to blue the entire, I don't know, say 80 missionaries and the mission president and his wife, and we did that. It was successful, and we got a lot of notoriety for that. Actually, it turned out to be a bad career decision for me from the point of view of a missionary, because they would not promote me after that. The mission president decided that I didn't have what it took to be a leader in the mission. I didn't care. I was just, I did a lot of work. I feel good about my service, but I wasn't going to be a robot, and a lot of guys were, unfortunately, I think. But anyway, that was month three and month four of my time in Pori, and I'll continue about what happened next after that.